A woman named Betina Marsh sent me a message that started with a confession. She is 64. She lives outside Scottsdale, Arizona. For 26 years, she worked as an interior designer, helping other women furnish rooms with intention and restraint. And for almost as long, she told me, she shopped for her own wardrobe with none of that same discipline. She wrote that she had spent decades buying on impulse. A blazer because it was on sale. A dress because a friend had one. Trend pieces from 3 summers ago still folded, tags on, in a closet drawer she was embarrassed to open in front of her own daughter. She told me she had learned, slowly and expensively, most of what actually works, but only after enough costly mistakes to fill a small storage unit. She said something in her message that stayed with me. I agree with everything in your video. I learned to do it myself over decades, by trial and error. I wish I'd had access to this kind of thing when I was younger. It would have helped me enormously. She wasn't writing to complain. She was writing, she told me, out of a kind of grief for all the money and closet space she'd have kept if someone had simply told her the rules earlier. She found this channel the way a lot of women her age do. A client, mid-consultation, mentioned she'd started dressing differently since discovering a channel called Madre. Betina looked it up that same night. She'd also come across my free elegant morning routine checklist around that time, tucked it into her morning routine without much ceremony, and told me the identity language in it. The idea that a woman decides who she is before she decides what she wears was the missing piece she hadn't known to look for in 26 years of shopping trips. She started applying what she was learning the following week, beginning with her closet. Within a month, she told me, a longtime client complimented her outfit and asked, unprompted, where she'd learned to shop, like she already knew exactly who she was. Betina said that question undid her a little, because for decades, the honest answer would have been that she didn't know at all. She was buying pieces hoping one of them would tell her. That is the reversal I want you to sit with today. The women who shop well are not the ones with the most access. They are the ones who stopped shopping to find themselves and started shopping to express a decision they had already made. I think about Betina's message often because it isn't really a story about clothes. It is a story about how long a genuinely capable woman can go without anyone ever handing her the rules that would have saved her both money and years. 26 years of professional restraint applied to other people's homes, and none of it, until recently, applied to her own closet. My name is 𝐈𝐬𝐷𝐿. Every week I bring this community the information that nobody else is willing to say plainly. That community is called the Undeniables. If you are new here, subscribe right now. You belong here. And drop the city you are watching from in the comments below. I am always down there reading. I want to know where my fellow undeniables are. Now let's get into it. Before we go further, I want to give you the tool that reframed shopping for Betina before she'd spent a single additional dollar. The Elegant Morning Routine Checklist, 12 Rituals of Women Who Are Timeless, Healthy, and Undeniable After 40 is my free gift to you today. It's the identity work Betina credits with changing how she walked into every store afterward. It is free. It is below this video or scan the QR code on your screen. Get it before you finish watching. Habit 1. The cost per wear calculation. I have watched women in dressing rooms do this instinctively, dividing a price tag by how many times they will realistically wear a piece before deciding. It signals that a woman is buying a decade of use, not a moment of satisfaction at the register. An economist who studies consumer behavior at the University of Chicago has written extensively on how this single mental shift, cost divided by anticipated use, reliably predicts which purchases people regret and which they don't. A boutique owner I know in Scottsdale, the same city Betina calls home, told me she now asks every client this exact question before ringing anything up, and her return rate has dropped by half since she started. Betina told me she started doing this math on her phone, standing in the fitting room for every single piece, and that the habit alone stopped her from buying at least a dozen items in her first month of practicing it. Habit 2. Building from a neutral base. I've sat with women in fitting rooms who instinctively reach for the trend color first, then wonder why nothing in their closet coordinates. The women I've studied who dress impeccably build outward from 3 or 4 neutrals, camel, navy, ivory, black, and treat every colorful piece as an accent, never a foundation. A stylist who dresses several women in my own circle told me she can outfit a client for an entire season from 12 pieces once the neutral base is right, something that is simply impossible when every purchase is its own trend-driven decision. Betina told me this was the first habit she applied, sorting her closet by neutral base before she bought a single new item. She said she was startled to discover that nearly 60% of what she owned had no relationship to anything else she owned at all, each piece an island, purchased for its own sake, never for the wardrobe as a whole. Something worth mentioning right here, because it's connected to what changed everything for Betina. She went on to invest in the Undeniables Complete System, the full 30-day curriculum this channel is built on. She told me the identity work in that system, deciding who she was before deciding what to buy, is what made every habit on this list feel automatic, instead of like a new set of rules to remember. I'll come back to this once we've gone through the full list. Habit 3, the end of season shopping window. The women I know who shop the smartest almost never buy at full price during the season a piece is designed for. They shop resort wear in November, coats in March, swimwear in September, buying next year's foundation pieces when demand, and therefore price, has collapsed. A personal shopper who works with several executive clients in Phoenix told me this single timing shift saves her clients on average closer to half of what they'd otherwise spend on the exact same wardrobe built at full price. Betina now keeps a running list on her phone of what she needs for the coming year, purchased entirely out of season. She told me her first out-of-season purchase, a wool coat bought in April, cost her less than a third of what she'd paid for a nearly identical one the winter before. Money she said she wished she'd understood the value of decades earlier. Habit 4, the Tailor relationship. I have never once watched a woman I consider truly well-dressed buy an item off the rack and wear it exactly as it came. A tailor who has fitted women in Scottsdale for over 15 years told me the difference between an outfit that looks expensive and one that simply is expensive almost always comes down to a half-inch adjustment at the shoulder or the hem, something few women think to ask for. Betina told me she now budgets for a tailoring appointment the same week she buys anything structured, treating it as part of the purchase rather than an optional extra. She said she used to think tailoring was for women who could already afford designer labels. She has since learned it is precisely the opposite. It is how a moderately priced piece is made to look, as though it never came from a rack at all. Habit 5, the fabric content check. Before price, before cut, the women I've watched shop well check the label for fiber content first. Natural fibers, wool, silk, cotton, linen, age, move, and photograph differently than synthetic blends, and the difference is immediately visible to anyone paying attention, even if they couldn't articulate why. A textile specialist I consulted for this video confirmed that natural fiber garments consistently outperform synthetic equivalents in both longevity and appearance over repeated wear. A gallery owner in my circle told me she has not purchased a single synthetic blend blouse in over a decade, and it shows in how her clothes hold their shape season after season. Betina told me she now runs her thumb along a fiber content label before she even checks the price tag. A habit she said would have embarrassed her 20 years ago, back when she assumed price alone was the honest signal of quality. Habit 6, the 3-piece rule. I've watched women fall in love with a single striking item in a store, purchase it, and then have nowhere to wear it because nothing else in their closet speaks the same language. The rule I've observed among women who shop with discipline is simple: never buy a piece unless you can immediately name 3 other things you already own that it pairs with. A boutique owner I know applies this rule with every client who tries to buy on impulse and tells me it eliminates roughly a third of proposed purchases before they ever reach the register. Betina told me she now keeps a photo inventory of her existing wardrobe on her phone, specifically so she can check this rule honestly in the fitting room before she talks herself into an exception. Habit 7, the return policy discipline. The women I know who never regret a purchase almost never buy anything meaningful on the first visit. They try it on, photograph themselves in it, leave the store, and wait 24 hours before deciding. A researcher studying decision fatigue and consumer regret at Cornell has documented how a short delay meaningfully reduces impulse-driven purchases that people later regret. Betina told me this single habit alone eliminated most of the closet drawer of tagged, unworn mistakes she'd accumulated over decades. She said the 24 hours rarely changes her mind about a genuinely good piece. It only ever talks her out of the ones she would have regretted, which told her something important about how thin the line between the two had always been. Habit 8. The one in one out standard. The final habit is the one that ties the rest together. And it's the one Betina described to me as the moment her closet finally stopped growing and started improving. For every new piece that enters her wardrobe, one leaves, sold, donated, or retired, so the collection stays curated, rather than merely accumulated. A woman I know who sits on the board of a major retail brand told me she has lived by this exact rule for over 20 years, and it is the single habit she credits most for never once feeling overwhelmed by her own closet. Betina told me the day she donated the first bag of pieces she'd been holding onto, just in case, was the day her closet finally started to feel like it belonged to a woman who had decided who she was, rather than one still auditioning for the role. Now, back to what I mentioned earlier, because it matters more here than anywhere else in this video. Betina told me these 8 habits gave her the framework, but the undeniables complete system is what gave her the identity underneath them. The first 90 seconds code on how a room reads you before you speak, and the full Aging Well blueprint on the confidence that makes any wardrobe choice look decided rather than performed. It is $69. It is below this video. I want you to have it. Here is what all 8 of these habits have in common. And here's what Betina finally understood after 26 years of dressing other people's rooms before she ever properly dressed herself. A wardrobe built to find yourself will always feel unfinished, because there is always one more purchase that might be the answer. A wardrobe built to express a decision you have already made requires almost nothing more, ever again. Decide first, shop second. Everything else is just noise wearing a price tag. Here is your assignment. Pick 3 of these 8 habits, not all 8, 3, and apply them the next time you shop, whether that's this week or next month. Then come back and comment. I practiced the cost per wear rule and the one in one out standard, and tell me what shifted. Comment below, or if you would rather keep it private, send me an email. I read every single one. Subscribe if you have not already. This community grows one honest habit at a time, and I want you inside it. There is a video on your screen right now that I recommend you watch next. It picks up exactly where this one leaves off. Until next time, to every woman watching, you are not here by accident. You are an undeniable. Act like it. Isabel.